What is up and what's going on? Thank you for checking out another video coming to you from Front Royal, Virginia and Blue Ridge Shadows Golf Club. Man, oh man, why did I not know about this course earlier? You saw from the title and thumbnail, a hidden gem for sure in Virginia. And I think if you Google like best courses in Virginia, public courses that is, this will crack the list. So hopefully you like what you see today. Before we go any further, if you all don't mind, take 4 seconds of your time, find that subscribe button, find the like button, go ahead and hit that for me. I'm a small YouTuber, and those likes, those comments, the subscriptions, trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year, really means a lot to me and goes such a long way, as, making these videos takes a lot of time, so I do it for you all. So again, take a moment, hit that button, means a lot. Back to the course. So I'm going to post some pictures here right now. This is what the course looked like about 4 or 5 days before I played it. So the fact that the course is in the shape that it is absolutely insane. So on the East Coast, there was Hurricane Debbie that kind of rolled through. This was unfortunately a victim of the winds, the rains. You saw from the pictures, it was not ideal. But I remember when I was speaking with the pro shop and the folks checking me, I think they said that they were open within 48 to 72 hours after this. Like, shout out to the maintenance crew. I don't think people understand how hard it is to maintain a course normally, but with the conditions as you just saw, I mean, you might as well have brought a bathing suit if you showed up to the course the next day. That's how crazy and underwater it was. Anyway, back to where we are. Super excited for this one, and I don't know much about this course. Never played it. I didn't even scout it. I didn't do a single thing. I also showed up, and they kind of threw me onto the tee box completely fine. I was trying to get in and out of here because of the drive. But I mention all that because I didn't get to stretch, didn't warm up, wasn't ready to go. You can see the camera isn't even correctly on there, no tracer. I was scrambling. Obviously, I have to set up all the excuses now because I play some very, very bad golf. The title of this video, I was contemplating calling it Bad Golf But Score Very Well. That wedge shot right there, that was like 10 grooves too low. I don't even know if there's 10 grooves on a club, but that's how bad it was. I ended up getting away with it because it just ran for days and got onto the rough here. But one of the things, if you follow my channel and see my other videos, I'm not the longest hitter. I'm not even the most accurate, but what I pride myself on is really trying to be great around the green. So you're going to see how if you can get up and down, if you can make putts, if you're pretty good from like 50 yards and in, you can score very, very well. It helps that for today, I think the tee boxes that I'm playing is it's about 6,300 yards. One of the downsides of this course, when I was looking at the cards, and I hate when courses do this, by the way, another super heavy chunky wedge, iron shot, that went maybe 100 yards. I'm lucky I covered, but that was so heavy and chunky. Again, really, really bad golf. But I was saying how I hate when golf courses have this was like 6,300 yards, and then the next tee box option was about 6,800 yards. I hate when there's a huge gap, and maybe there was like a combo tees I didn't see. Again, I was scrambling on hole one, but anytime that I play a course for the first time and I know nothing about it, I always want to play on the lower side, scoot up. It's going to be way more fun. It's going to be way more enjoyable. Plus 6,800's a tad bit. That's kind of the end of the range for me where it gets pretty long, and I'm flirting that fine line of fun versus not fun. So anyway, for today's video, we did scoot up. And the reason I mentioned that is because a lot of these terrible, terrible shots, that was another one, by the way, open face, spinny, short right BS. But a reason why I mentioned that is because when you do scoot up, you can get away with kind of shank drives, or you can top stuff. So I'm going to score pretty well, but it's expected. I think the rating and slope of the tee box I have is under par, and it's a decent slope. But anyway, you can see not off to the best start. And again, I'm making excuses, not warm, not ready. But here's where we really start to feel it a little bit. It always takes a few holes to get warmed up. And also you notice I am paired with a couple of randoms. Coolest two dudes. I actually got 2 subscribers out of them. Hope you're watching this. It was a pleasure playing with you. I was actually laughing to myself. You're going to see when they kind of come on camera that, oh boy, there's another shank. So just an example. You can miss hit, not have the best ball striking, but still score well, because even though that was a top kind of shank there, it did roll like 130 yards, puts me into a wedge on a par 5, so we can still score on this hole. I think this hole summarizes just, how to score well even without being the best golfer or best ball striker. So back to this hole, and we do hit a really good wedge shot to about, 8-9 feet, a very, very makeable putt. So the putter, oh yeah, let's go. Tweet, tweet. birdie, we're on the board. Let's erase some of those bogeys that we just had. And that's a really good putt because for me personally, and I'm sure a lot of golfers out there can attest, but I'm a very streaky putter. Once I see one go in, the basketball analogy, once you see the first shot go through the hoop, the hoop just seems like an ocean. It's that big. I'm very similar with putting, where once I can kind of get a feel for the greens after a few holes and you see one drop, your putter, you just start trusting it a lot more. I'm not saying I'm going to drain every single putt, but again, just really good to have one of those putts go in early on, especially for a birdie. So anyway, the next hole is a par 3, very straightforward, and that last hole, and then there's a few coming up, it starts a really, really cool oh boy, there's the bad swing I was talking about. I should have added like a bad swing counter in the bottom left or something, because the tracer made that look good, but just imagine a over-the-top closed-face pull hook. I'm lucky it somehow hung on to this rough. You can see it was way above my feet. I have to pretty much just take my medicine. I think I took like 6-iron, punched it like 100-ish, 150 yards, 130 yards, but look at this. That was a groove low and also open faced. Man, this is just this is what I'm talking about here. So you're going to see how terrible tee shot with a pull hook. You have to punch out, take your medicine. Another terrible approach. But if you can have a good short game, I hit like a baby flop there. I don't think you guys realize how good that wedge shot is. Yes, I'm tooting my horn. I had to really flop it up, drop it soft, and I give myself 4 feet. It's just funny how a par is a par on the card, but as you guys saw, not all pars are equal. You will walk away with that feeling like you birdied it. And then here's the next hole. Super cool, visually appealing hole. So unfortunately, you can see my first bounce landed in the fairway. We kind of lost it in the sun. I think there, you can see to the right of my cart, it's like muddy, swampy, and just a super hill into the trees. I couldn't find my ball, so I'm assuming it went in. So I end up taking a drop penalty here. I saw some stakes to my right. Take a drop penalty, so we are now putting for par off the green. This is another example of not knowing the course. So if you're playing this course using it as a scout, this is a 2-tiered green where, I won't say 2-tiered green, but if your approach shot is short like mine, you're going to lose, it's Pinehurst style, you're going to lose like 20 yards and just roll backwards. You want to be long on this hole, especially, oh gosh, there's the lip in. We just hyped up the putter and we do that. Point being is, I was saying, just not knowing the greens, knowing that being long and in the rough versus short in the fairways where I'd rather be. Little things like that, so I can't wait to, oh gosh, this was the most hilarious drive. So this drive, another really bad swing. I think I hit the toe. This somehow, and I remember this guy, he was laughing with me when they were watching. I think it hit I must have paid my member due. There's another shank, by the way. My God, what's the bad shot counter at? Must be at like 40. But that drive, I toey shank it, push fade right, and it hits something and just kicks back to the left to where you just saw that last shot. So here's another example. Terrible, terrible tee shot, terrible iron swing. But if you can get up and down, I put that to like 10 inches, less than a foot, so we're going to take that. And yes, all of you internet bullies out there, well, Mark, you got to hit the cups. You're playing for a score. Okay, sue me. If you're not going to give me a 1-footer, then don't watch this video. Just kidding. Please keep watching. I need you. Need the views. Take a look at this. Another example of not knowing the course. I just guessed a line. I thought I snap hooked at OB. As I turned the corner and looked, take a look at where my ball is. It was comical. The people I was playing with was like, are you sure you haven't played here before? Because yeah, I was literally dead center where you want to be. So this is just another example of if you can keep your drives in play, especially in the tee boxes I'm playing, you're going to have a lot of driver wedge. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how good your driver and wedges are if you can't make putts. We're going to walk away with a missed birdie putt there, but I will take a 3 over 39, especially that really, really bad double that you saw a moment ago. On to the back 9. And I remember the people in the clubhouse telling me that the back 9, you want to be careful. It gets narrow, it gets tight, and he told me you're going to value fairways over everything. So let's see what he was talking about. But the back 9 does start with a really cool par 3. So the clubhouse is behind you. You have an elevated tee shot, elevated up. I need to get a rangefinder with slope. I didn't know. I kind of guessed. I ended up being pin high, but I guessed what the slope was. And then speaking of slope and elevation, this is one of the coolest tee shots, and now I know what he's talking about. If I were to play this again, you do not want driver in this hole. You see where that fat part of the fairway is? You probably want to aim for that, and you also can take this bunker and the OB to my right and play. So speaking of OB, I didn't know how to play this. Since I've never played this course, I hit into what looked like just tall grass, thick stuff. So I thought my ball was fine. When I came out here, I didn't see stakes, didn't see signs or penalty areas. It was just really, really tall, thick grass. I couldn't find my ball, I ended up taking the two-shot penalty. I didn't want to go back to the tee box for the re-tee, so I think I took the, stroke and distance relief. So I end up taking 2 shots there. We dropped to where I think it went in. I actually took a very lenient drop because closer to the tall grass and stuff was still a huge pile of mud and swampy. So yes, I'm not dropping into a pile of mud. I found the first dry land hit. We end up with a really bad triple there, but you know what? That's on me. So it's a long-winded way of saying if you're using this as a scout, I would stay away from that bunker, the OB to the right, value control and put it in the fairway versus trying to bomb it on that one. So again, something I would just do differently the next time around. And then this one, a really, really cool par 3. This is one of the most visually appealing holes. I know there are a bunch of houses, but you can see there's water to my left, a really beautiful kind of rock wall garden. I think there's like a lot of pictures about this hole. So I don't know if it's one of their signature holes, but I saw it really visually appealing. And then here's another just example of you're kind of just in the mountains. Look at the tree line. It's a blind tee shot. And it's shots like these and the mixture and variety of holes. It's what I think makes this so special in terms of a course. And I was, again, super impressed with how I played. But one of the things that I value when I play a golf course, and I am coming out with that golf course rankings video. I'm working on it, guys. But one of my criteria pieces is memorability and kind of holes that you remember when you play. So and by the way, we have a putt for birdie here. Mark, why are you mentioning that? Because no big deal. The slow, dramatic roll in. So that's going to chip away at that triple. Really, really good birdie for a straightforward par 4. So happy there. Back to what I was saying a moment ago. One of my criteria is when I'm playing a course is ask yourself after a round, especially after playing a course, what holes stood out to me? Were there any that were like, whoa, that was cool, really loved it, makes you want to play it again? There's probably 3 to 4 of those, maybe even 5 on this course when I was replaying it in my head and watching this video. But hole 18, one of the coolest holes I think I've played in the entire state of Virginia. So hopefully you hang around and see that. That last hole that I just talked about a moment ago, the blind tee shot, the fairway was insane with a lot of elevation, slope. So it was pretty much a different tee shot depending where you are. I just love courses that have a combination of water, elevation, forced carries, tight greens, 2-tiered greens. This course has it all. So again, one of the biggest hidden gems, and I know it's not even over, so I'll keep trying to narrate on the course. Look at this one. This is actually my second most favorite and memorable hole. So the clubhouse is to the right. The elevation here, if it's not clear, the elevation here might be, if I had to guess, 75 feet. So you feel like a long hitter as it hangs in the air. So you have the clubhouse watching you to the right. You have water to the left and right. You have a narrow fairway, and the ball just launches. I'm lucky I hit a really good drive, and I hit a really good approach shot that barely hung on. If you saw the size of this green, come on, Mark, do it one time. That's brutal. That is brutal. But we've turned it on in this back 9, so I'm not mad. That's a good putt. It just didn't go in. But again, I think just having a course that gives you such a variety and mixture of things. And then this was probably one of the most straightforward holes. And there was a few times that you just kind of knew you were in the city per se. You saw like highways, cars. You see that. I think it's like a hotel to my left. So you'll get a few of those, and that did kind of turn me off. I don't really like when there's like a neighborhood of houses or there's streets and cars driving around. It is what it is. But that was probably only 4 to 5 holes, as you probably saw, and then the rest, it feels like you're in a private club golf course feel, which I absolutely love. And so anyway, we had some tailwind behind. Mark, why'd you zoom in on that? No big deal. No biggie. I mean, we're just gonna chip in for eagle like it's easy. That's gonna help the scorecard a lot. I told you that I score very well. It goes back to my concept, the theme of have a good short game and you can score well. It doesn't mean you have to chip in every single time, but you can just see how So far, this round has been underwhelming from a ball striking and playing perspective, but I've made some putts. We chipped in for eagle. Keep your wedges in play. Like, you'll be able to have a decent score. This was another really, really cool hole. You'll see the water, and there's like a little rock wall to the right. This was a very, very visually appealing hole. I should have hyped it up a little more before the tee shot, but this was probably hole number 4 that I remember the most, because it actually makes you think. I love holes that make you think. And speaking of that, here's my favorite holes. So short par 4, you're going to see on the card 280 yards from this tees, maybe 300 from the back tees or something like that. You're thinking to yourself when you first play, well, let's just take driver and send it. Obviously, there's going to be a creek that has this like a forced carry green. I love holes where you don't have to just take driver and send it, and you have to play like a long iron, maybe a hybrid of some sort, but just put it in play. So I took 4 iron and hit it about 185-ish, 190 yards, which is what my 4 iron goes. And then you're going to notice that the approach shot, you have to be so gentle and delicate. And this is a 2-tier green, if not clear. The rock wall behind the view, rewind this video and go back to the approach shot. I should have just done a quick video on the rock wall itself. This was one of the coolest finishing holes I can remember, with a lot of strategy, force carry, green was tricky, visually appealing. Man, oh man, that was a round, huh? What a round. So Blue Ridge Shadows Golf Club, really, really liked it. Tell me what you think and what you saw, and stay tuned as we do have a couple videos, Twin Lakes, Reston, and the club at Vinatera coming soon.